Hello and blessings, everyone. How are you today? I'm so delighted to be looking into your beautiful smiling faces. So, a little while back, I talked about jumping on here and doing some live card slingings for some donations to help me to finish off my renovations. We are currently Hello, Angela. We are currently working on a 92-year-old home to move in there, and we would like to be moved in by the 20th of December, but we still have so much work to do, and we've used every penny that we have in our savings account to purchase the property and to do the renos that we've done so far. So right now, I'm looking at ways in which I can garner more funds to go directly into the renovations. The situation over there is that we have a roof that needs repairing. We have holes in the inner ceiling. We had to pull all of the kitchen out with the exception of the kitchen sink because the wood had rotted and there was a rat's nest behind the kitchen. So we were hoping to be able to salvage and just pull them out, sand them back, paint them and put them back in. We're pretty keen on upskilling and doing that kind of stuff. Not upskilling, but upcycling. That's the word that I'm looking for. Hi, Claire. And so it's a bit cold in here. And so all of that's been going on. I've hurt my back doing farm chores, and it's a bit stiff today, so I'm not going to be moving around too much. And we've had a situation that is beyond imaginable happen. So in my last stream, hi Michelle, if you had by any chance caught my last live stream, then you would know that I had some serious issues going on with my neighbor. And oh my gosh, if you guys knew what had happened. So, long story short, hi Kathy, hi Veronica. I'm a little bit traumatized, to be perfectly honest, because of what had taken place. And so to cut a long story short, my crazy neighbor, the one that was creating all the trouble, the one that was going to put up 3 gates up on our driveway so we'd have to get in and out of the car to unlock the gates so that it would deter service personnel from coming up here and emergency personnel from coming up to our property, etc., etc. It was a big debacle. That neighbor had been in a conflict with my upper neighbor. I'm kind of wedged in between 2 people. So we've got neighbors up this way, crazy neighbor down that way, kind of like that. And I have to drive through both of my neighbours' properties in a legal easement. So this is already written on the plan to access our property. So it's right tucked away in the middle of the woods, our property, and we love it. But unfortunately, the good vibes started to evade me the more I had to deal with this neighbour. And hi, Kylie. Hi, Solaria. And so last week I was on the phone to Alora and we were talking and suddenly I heard this kind of revving sound in the driveway, and I thought that it could have been a delivery person, but when I poked my head out, I saw that it was my crazy neighbor on his 4-wheel motorbike. And I quickly came in and I was like, honestly, like my gods were strong with me on that day because I came in and I was panicked. You could ask Alora because we were FaceTiming and I'm like, oh my God. I started to shut all the blinds and like pull the blind shut and like pull the curtains across so that you couldn't see. I turned off all the lights. I locked the inner mudroom door. I locked my inside door and I hid in the laundry for no reason, folks. He was parked out in the driveway. I got the heebie-jeebies and I did all of that and hid in the laundry, like that laundry right there. And I had my phone. I'm like, Alora, I've got to go. I've got to call my dad. So I called my father to say, Dad, Ken's here. Can you go out and deal with him? Because he's giving me the heebie-jeebies. And he's like, I'm at the end of our driveway at the moment, attending to an incident, and my dad then told me what had happened, and that was that my neighbour had, I can't even say it out loud, he had attempted to murder my other neighbour, my beautiful, lovely 40 something, almost 50-year-old female neighbour. He had threatened to kill her and her whole family, and then proceeded to run over her on his four-wheel motorbike, and she was stuck underneath his bike. My dad had to rescue her. The police and the ambulance came. I went running down there once I found this out, because he stayed here for a while and then he left. And I sort of sat with my neighbour, with my arms around my neighbour, bringing her water and blankets and holding on to her because she was shaking from head to toe. And the police were coming up. She managed to video on her smartphone the whole thing. He's ranting, he's raving. I saw that video and I thought, oh, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. They basically treated her, they whisked her off in an ambulance, and then picked him up and arrested him. And we found out yesterday that he is now in prison. He did all of this while he was out on bail, and they had a restraining order. The woman that he ran over had a restraining order against him for previous acts of violence. And I thought to myself, I just got this sickness in the pit of my stomach, thinking, I have little ones here. I had little children here. My own sister, who's recently moved here since July, walks up and down that street. If for whatever reason he had decided to have one of his psychotic meltdowns on a day where my little ones, my sister, my family, my husband, my father, or myself are walking down that street, then it could have been so tragic. And my dad, who was eyewitness and had to, they took his statements and all of that. If he hadn't have been there, he just said, I have every certainty that he would have killed her. But my dad was there, his car was there, he was standing out in the road going, he's in his 70s now, and it's not like he can go over there and pummel someone, if you know what I mean. Just the whole thing was just absolutely ridiculous. And so I'm so much more inspired to leave here now. Imagine that. Can you imagine why? I'm just like, there's bad juju now. I feel like there's bad juju between my uncle passing away on this property and, this crazy guy conducting himself in this manner. And I don't know, I still want to build here and I still want to live here. I still love the land, but I don't love it while he's there. I don't love it while I know that he owns that place. And so when the opportunity came for us to purchase a property opposite our farm, we sort of used all of our funds, the funds that we were going to put a start on building. It wouldn't have actually built the whole house, but it would have put a solid start on building the house. We decided to purchase this 92-year-old home that was opposite our other little farm, and that's it. So that's the long, arduous story that I don't want to ever talk about again, because it's just so freaking dramatic that I'm like, what do you do with that? How do you go on from that? I want to love this place, and I do. And I've been out all weekend doing yard work, and I just think this is one of the most beautiful areas, smack bang in the middle of the woods, really quiet, and just, just super lovely. So anyways, we just need a break from here, I think. And the fact that we are living in a tiny home, there's 5 of us plus our little puppy Snow, our little Jon Snow of the Night's Watch. It's getting very crowded. The kids are, we found out that the environment that we're in it's a lot colder and it's a lot wetter in some aspects. So it's been raining quite a bit. It's been very cold. And The kids don't want to go outside and play because of that. They want to stay inside and play, but because we have such a small space, it's tiny home living is challenging. It's great if you are just 2, maybe 3 people, but when you're 5 people, 3 of which are growing, it's not the best idea. I mean, it's doable, and we've been here for over a year now, but it's not harmonious. No, it's not harmonious. And because my father lives in his converted container, my sister lives up here where I work, I don't come to work when she's not here. So basically, she's out at English lessons right now. This is how we manage. We manage by shuffling around each other and, and trying to give people the necessary space. So my husband's sort of something inside of him, and he's very bliss. He's snapped. And I respect his endurance. But he snapped, and he was like, oh, we need some space. Even if we rent a place, I'm like, I didn't come down here to rent a place. I'm not here to rent. I came to build. I came to live the dream. Anyways, I'm a challenging person to be married to. I understand that, but right now we're in the middle of renovations, and so I'm raising money for renos as I speak. Right now, I'm raising money for renos. So this is going to be the very first in my public live card slinging endeavor, and yeah. So the story goes as such. I do believe I have a super chat feature. And if anyone would like a reading from me, I'll pull at least 3 cards. Alora, she's in a reading slump. Oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? What was I thinking? Yes, I have a super chat feature. And if you would like me to give you a live right now on the spot reading, then click that super chat. You can donate however much you want, and I will pull at least 3 cards. Otherwise, I will just simply go ahead and pull some cards for people and just sort of hope that the act of giving is going to be somewhat conducive to me finishing my renos, because the situation over there is I should do a tour. Would you like to see a tour of the house, the house that we're renovating? I should have shown you while the bathroom was all sunken. The bathroom actually sunk, and my husband had to pull everything out. And all right, Michelle and Veronica, give me something that you would like to know. What would you like me to what would you like to know? I will happily read for you. I'm going to give you guys a tour so that you see what we're dealing with. Oh, Solaria. Oh, thank you guys. You've been so lovely. Thank you. This is so helpful. All right. Be sure to tell me what you would like me to read for you about. Does that make sense? Why am I pulling cards for you? Put it that way. Veronica, Michelle was first. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you. I would like to know if I am on the right path with a business I want to start. Will I be successful? All right, Michelle, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann of the Sacred Creators, and I'm going to pull for you. Four cards fell out and one fell face down. When a card falls face down, I never read it. Okay, so I would like to know if I'm on the right track. Okay, so. Oh, you're so on the right track. You are so on the right track, Michelle. Here are your cards. The King of Cups, the Renaissance man, typically denotes a rather worldly, skilled type of individual, someone who has a really great grasp on their emotional output, their natural push and pull of talent, and just someone who has a lot of lived experience and who is able to funnel those lived experiences into what it is that they love. So I like to think of the King of Cups as a Renaissance man. You've got the the Eight of Wands, which is a high action card. So that is a lot of strong, forward, active movements, like the type of action that really just it's a burst of fire, something that is so definitive, something that is so intense that it ignites something amazing. The Four of Cups shows that there is a slight dissatisfaction or perhaps even a certain level of emotional uncertainty towards the projects at hand. And in your case, it is the right path with a business. And so there could be a little bit of ambiguity. There could be a little bit of uncertainty. Are you aware of the emotional implications? Now, the King of Cups is pretty on top of his emotional push and pull, like I said. And so I find that the Four of Cups is bringing in a little bit of emotional nervousness, more than anything else, more than stagnation, more than sort of like just being stuck in the status quo. It's bringing in a little bit of nervousness. I mean, you could stay stuck in the status quo and not pursue your business idea, but I don't think that it would lead to emotional satisfaction. And with so much fire behind you, with the Eight of Wands, I keep saying the ace. It's the eight. You are bound to be quite brilliant at what you do. Now, the Eight of Pentacles came through, and the Eight of Pentacles is for me the card of mastery. We're looking at resources, and when we're talking about business and resources go hand in hand. And so the Eight is talking about the skill set, the upskilling of who you are, of what you need, of making sure to attract the right kind of tools, the right kind of experience to you, and or harnessing the tools that you already have. Because of course, the King of Cups is talking about someone who is already quite skilled. And so you will need to determine which of that skill set is most suitable to your business building as it stands right now, and to be prepared to be a bit repetitive about it, because the Eight of Pentacles is the card of the master, right? But it's a refinement. And the process that led to this refinement can oftentimes be talked about as being rather repetitive. So it's doing the same thing 1,000 times until you just build up a natural fluidity and a skill till you can do it blindfolded. That's the Eight of Pentacles. And so combined, this card is talking about like wonderful opportunities, and definitely an opportunity for you to seize, and in order for you to really build up a certain level of confidence, it's identify your skill set and be prepared to apply that skill set. And yes. What are we? Oh, I don't know what's going on here. And that was for Michelle. Michelle, do you have any questions whatsoever? Any questions whatsoever? Let me know if you've got any questions. And Veronica, I need your questions. Veronica, you sweet, sweet soul. A look ahead for the week. I can do that. All right, let me give this a little shuffle. Let me sort of brush it off a little bit and see where we're going with this. Okay. Let's have a look at the week. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, Veronica, I've pulled 4 cards for you. The Page of Pentacles is the start of your week. And I would say that that's a pretty solid start to a week, something that, gets you on your feet, gets you thinking about resources, perhaps looking at the push and pull of your resources, can I say that word? Early on in the week will help you to identify any kind of budgeting strategies that you might need, any kind of, food planning, food prepping, that kind of stuff. I find it's very it's a card that holds a lot of planning vibe for me at the moment, particularly when placed at the start of the week. And that is because the Page of Pentacles, pretty damn good with their resources and really good at sort of identifying what is necessary to build a more wholesome week ahead. And from an archetypal perspective, I also think it brings in a youthful, enthusiastic energy towards the concepts of planning and utilizing and strategizing resources effectively as well. The page is also quite a lover of mysticism and the occult. And don't ask me how I came to that conclusion, but it's definitely something that has sat on my radar as part of the medicine and the magic of the page. And so I would say that make some time in your week for a much more meaningful personal practice of any kind, and also to strategize and plan early to just ensure that there's fluidity and flow in your resources. So you might want to do things like meal planning and preparing your shopping list early, getting on top of your bills for the week, and just looking very carefully at how you can strategize your resources so that you can live, a much more just mellow life. Because I think the end goal for all Pentacle Court is that they want to rest. They want to relax, they want to enjoy their resources to their full capacity. And the Page of Pentacles just has a little bit more spring in their step. Then you have the Queen of Swords. And this is part of the reason why I was talking about strategy. So you've got 2 court cards. So you might connect with 2 archetypal energies throughout the week. And the Queen of Swords is definitely one of those sort of free thinking, far thinking, really conceptualizing types of individuals or energies. And so I like to think of the Queen of Swords as being very much connected to the archetype of the teacher, the mentor aspect, the teacher aspect. And it sometimes talks about the pursuit of knowledge in a really beautiful way. And one of the things that I liked is that in your week, in the middle of your week, you might find yourself sort of navigating towards, excuse me, sort of communication and what's the word? Just a little bit of water, sorry about that. You might be gravitating towards aspects of clear communication, problem solving, but also inspiration and really inspired ways of approaching any kind of task that be thrown at you throughout the week. I really like the Queen of Swords as well for that potential and that strictness of organization. I find that, I don't know, whenever I see the Queen of Swords, I have a tendency of thinking about people who are ultra Virgo and who have that natural propensity for detail orientation and for strategizing and planning beautifully. And when coupled with the enthusiasm of the Page of Pentacles, which is all about maneuvering resources, then put these 2 together and you've got a really great head on your shoulders for working those resources quite well. But I would definitely say reading literature is going to be big for you, like getting into a really good book as well, and also making sure that you are upskilling, that you are learning new things. I really get the impression that you're the type of person that likes to learn new skills, new things, open up your mind, open up your perspectives on matters. So be prepared to feed your brain really well. The Tower card appears in the middle of the week, and it talks about a little bit of catastrophe. So brace yourself for any potential catastrophe. But with such good cards around, and your last card is the Magician, so it's the Great Manifester. With such great cards surrounding the Tower card, I have this sort of feeling that it's going to be more something that you witness rather than something that you personally experience. So you might actually have to be the support person for something, for something, for someone else. So these two little beautiful archetypes come in and help to sweep up the mess, the ash from, the tower that has crumbled. And the Magician, towards the end of the week, is bringing through really strong manifestation energy and just really dexterous. Is that the word? Yeah, I'm looking for something really adept kind of creator and maker and manifester. That's how I like to see the Magician, the ability to take concept and anchor it down into reality so that it can be born into this life with with all that magic and passion that it was conjured. And so with the Tower and the Magician side by side, it really does lessen the blow of the Tower with the Magician there. We know that there's a slight trickster energy and that the fallout could be a little bit deceiving in that regard, but it also shows that there is great potential for change and for manifestation even after the Tower comes through and strikes. So you've got really great supportive cards surrounding you for the week, with the exception of the Tower. But I do think the Tower often pokes its head out when we are in a situation whereby it's not built, whatever it is that we are doing, the concept, the situation itself hasn't been built on really strong foundations, and as such they have a tendency of collapsing. And then it gives us an opportunity to have a look at where we went wrong the first time and then rebuild with much stronger foundations. So if the Tower does bring something down in your week, then by all means understand that whatever it was, it just wasn't strong enough to be able to withstand, the long haul, if that makes sense, and that the Magician is going to come through and provide a much better solution for whatever it was that did destabilize. So yeah, might just need a little emergency cleanup in the middle of the week, but otherwise really, really good strong cards for a week. And 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 I hope that it goes beautifully for you, super beautifully. Rut-row. Got it. No planned already helps more than you know. Thank you, my friend. Oh, thank you, Veronica. You are such a gem. Well, I hope that the Tower isn't yours, but I do feel like if it's appeared in your reading, then it's going to leave an impact for you, and you might have to get out your dustpan and brush and your broom and sort of sweep up some of that fallout, because it might have just spilled over your fence. And you're like, oh dear. Can be a little bit cumbersome. And so who else have I got here? Solaria, you are my next super chat person. Where are you, Solaria? Can you type in capital letters? Whispers of 3, I should start a list. Solaria, where are you, my beautiful Solaria? Send me your question. And who was next on my list? Tracy, send me your question as well. So did Solaria? Oh, thank you, Claire. Hi, Nicole. Thank you, Alt 10. Wait, did Solaria actually gave me her reading? I just wasn't reading it right. What can I do about my boss, who I feel is trying to drive me out of my job now that I am 15 days from permanent status? That is so full on, Solaria. I'm so sorry. I'm going to pull some cards for you. And I feel like I've given this a really good shuffle. By the way, guys, I'm loving the Lightseers Tarot. I just keep talking about it. I just filmed a favorites video today, and I did an unboxing of it the other day, and I did a full flip through, and then I did a ritual preparation of the deck, and I used it for about 12 client readings, and then I just can't stop talking about it. I'm so impressed. I'm just so freaking impressed with it. All these cards fell down, face down, so they're not part of the story. Okay, Solaria. So I've pulled about 4 cards for you here. The Ace of Wands. I really feel like this holds new sort of job opportunities. The Ace of Wands, quintessence of the element of fire. Absolutely phenomenal for ushering in new experiences and for opportunities that help to expand and ignite. And in keeping with your nasty boss, we'll just be a bit biased now because everyone's on your side, Solaria. So we've also got the Empress here, which is emotions, and the Empress isn't just emotions. Just hear me out, folks. We have a lot of brilliant firecracker energy here. And then we have the Empress, really nurturing, motherly, deeply emotional. And I feel like these 2 cards combined can sometimes birth something akin to overtly emotional outputs. Some might even say hysteria, but there are no upper sword cards in the equation here. We also have the Sacred Soul here, which is the Hierophant card. And this is definitely a card of a beautiful mentor in your life, someone who is who's channeling down the good stuff to help you out and to show you something more than what is in existence in your sphere of consciousness right now. I really like the Hierophant as the sage. I really like the Hierophant as the shaman, for instance, the one who has a foot in both worlds and who is able to channel down that something special, the something of the other world into this current world, and can be a really wise speaker. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is all about the resources. And isn't she a beautiful Queen of Pentacles here? So we have here 2 aspects of mother, believe it or not. And then 1 Ace of Wands. And in the middle of that, one a keeper of the sacred. And so my advice to you is to occupy the space between the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is boss. She's just boss in a very different way to the Queen of Swords. And with the Queen of Pentacles, she just knows what she's got. She knows who she is. She's very, very sure of herself. There is this aspect of, I have all the resources that I require to be uniquely awesome. Queen of Pentacles. All the resources required to be uniquely awesome, and someone who is incredibly in touch with their input and output of energy. When we look at Pentacles, we're looking at resources full stop, but that also governs health, it governs finance, and it governs work. And with your problem here, the Queen of Pentacles is asking for you to exalt your position and to step into a much more confident place. A person who is very much in charge of the power of their emotions. And so it's really about learning to measure the output of your feelings and how you wear your expressions on your face. And so I don't know about you, but I have a problem fixing my face at times. And thankfully, I don't work for other people anymore because I can't fix my face fast enough. My face will always tell you what I'm feeling. I'm very candid about it. I don't even know how I do it. But basically, I react expressively. And so when I work with the Empress, I work at being able to unleash my emotional output. And when I work with the Queen of Pentacles, I work at fixing my face. Now, put these 2 together, Solaria, and what I wanted to say to you is you may need to find a perfectly beautiful, nourishing, nurturing, so think of Empress here, nurturing, motherly kind of energy. Find that experience and use that experience to help you to extract the high tension from yourself during this process while you're dealing with a difficult boss. Because if you can be quite boss in your place and you can hold your space really well, and you can be the type of person that your boss needs you to be, while simultaneously nurturing the shit out of yourself because you're just not getting what you need from your boss, this is going to be an environment that is much more conducive to productivity. You may also need to find an individual type of person that you can decompress to, someone who can give you a little bit of wisdom. And because it's wedged in between two cards here, two maternal types of cards, you may need to talk to someone who occupies the space of a great mother for you, and a mother in the general sense, not a mother in the person that bore you sense, although it could very well be, but in keeping with the Ace of Wands here, I honestly say that you've got more opportunity here than meets the eye. These cards are not bad cards. They're actually quite good cards. And if you can work with the flow and the energetic input, or the energetic structure, more to the point, of these cards, then you should find yourself sort of like just living your life in the face of difficult people. And there's nothing better than living your life and being awesome in the face of someone who doesn't necessarily want you to be. Now, one more thing that I would like to add is that these are such good cards that if for whatever reason your boss tries to drive you out of your job before your 15 days for permanent status has been achieved, then the Ace is talking about better opportunities, okay? Much, much better opportunities. And so you do have a fallback net that if something were to occur and you don't get your permanent position there, that something better is coming. It's coming around the corner. And but really, one of the most important things that I wanted to say to you, Solaria, is make sure that you nurture yourself. Like, be that empress to who you are. Nurture yourself as much as possible. Look for those moments where you can inject your personal self-care with just that extra little something extra. Extra little something extra. Wow, I'm freaking articulate today, aren't I? With that little something more, and give yourself the Aphrodite experience, the long bath, the beautiful music, the beautiful temple space, and eating good food. Make yourself a really nice meal and try to give to yourself what you need. Sometimes we have to be our own heroes, and when we're going through difficult times, the best way to deal with difficult people is to inject our life with as much awesome as we need to endure difficult personalities. I know when I'm in love, I know when I am having an incredible time or I'm surrounded by amazing people, if I do have to deal with challenging individuals, then I can do so with a smile on my face, and I can endure it until I don't need to endure it anymore. And for you, you will endure it. I have every confidence that you will endure it until you don't feel like enduring it anymore. But in the meantime, make sure that you self-nurture as much as possible, and you keep those emotions at bay, and you step into that beautiful, powerful archetype of the Queen of Pentacles, and you own that space, and you own your resources, and you show your boss that you have what it takes to be in this position and to do that job with efficiency and with gusto. And beyond that, I think you're going to be just fine. But again, be sure to gift yourself with that experience, okay? Just counterbalance some of the shit. Sometimes when we're dealing with difficult, trying situations, gosh, I know this, we need to counterbalance that with a much more positive experience. And we tend to gravitate towards the experiences that we can manage to gift ourselves, or the kindness when somebody else gifts us an experience. So if you've got a great hubby or a great partner or a great friend that's willing to gift you with a really nice experience while you're going through a trying time, then lean on that, because that's what it means to use all of our resources. Right. Who have I got? Tracy. Did Tracy respond? Tracy? Tracy? Where are you, Tracy? I've been coming up with ideas to expand my practice. However, I feel a little overwhelmed by the different directions I can go. Where or what should I focus my hedge witchness on for this month? Oh, I like it. I like it. What a great question. Yes. It's such a beautiful day to be uttering the word hedge witch. It's supposed to be summer, but it's so overcast. The fire was on. It was raining. It was misty. There's snow on the mountain. You know, all that kind of good fun stuff. All that kind of good fun stuff. Okay, so Tracy. Oh, hello, friends. Did okay. First of all, you got the Page of Cups, and I love this Page of Cups. So I'm thinking a little spirit, definitely a little spirit. So in your hedge witchery, I'd really focus on aspects of the veil and the other world, but definitely spirit interaction and spirit work. I really love the Page of Cups there, just very like good perspective. But this, let me reread. Where or what should I focus my hedge witchery for this month? Okay, so the Eight of Pentacles is talking about multiple skills, okay? So the focus needs to be on multiple skills. You also got the Eight of Pentacles. We also got the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles, very practical, very earthy, very grounded. Stay to the earth, stay close to the earth when you cultivate more than that one skill. And then you've got this beautiful Call to Spirit card over here. So for the Page of Cups, Page is very imaginative. I like that. Or perhaps the word is inspiring, because I tend to link the word imagination to water. And so inspiring, very clean and clear thinker as well. So there's an element of academia, an element of study, an element of approaching your practice with an edge of with an organized academic edge, I believe is where I'm going with that. But stay close to the earth and multiple skills. So the refinement of multiple skills. I also feel that if you are to find a certain number of skills this month, or themes or subjects to explore, that is also going to help to build up that level of mastery that I so love about the Eight of Pentacles, because it's that repetitious, doing by rote over and over again, practicing something over and over again until it's beautifully refined. But I also feel like it's more than one thing. For some reason, I feel like there's a multitude of things this month, but you're going to find probably like three things that really capture your energy. And because we're staying very close to the earth, I really do think that they are mainly around, well, let's have a look. The Page is standing in the woods in a little mandala. That's the construction of a sacred space, a temple space. Outdoors, an outdoor temple space, that could be a really great place to start. Holding on to a beautiful disc, and we're unraveling. So I really do feel like it could be something to do with designing your own wheel of the year, something that is much more conducive to your particular biosphere and landscape. And I really do feel like there's an element of balance. The Page is on one foot and holding that balance quite beautifully. And so something that helps to bring balance and equilibrium to your practice. And it could be something of a physical practice, and something that involves movement, something that involves the body, something that involves the health and wellness aspect, because I do like the Pentacles card for health of the body being one of our grander resources and being an extension of earth as well. So really treating the body as a temple in and of itself. But I do think that there are three aspects that are worth you focusing your energy on. I really do feel that construction of a tailor-made wheel of the year for you is going to be chef's kiss good. and the creation of, I'm looking here at an outdoor sacred space, but I kind of also got that. I was doing a medicine and madness video for Patreon today, and I pulled the Wheel of Fortune card from the Herb Crafters Tarot, and it was talking about not necessarily the medicine wheel, but the home, the medicinal garden. The medicinal garden, I believe it was. And so I do feel like the medicinal garden would be something that would occupy beautifully the space of an outdoor sacred space, a place where you grow, you curate, you tend to these beautiful healing herbs, these herbs that can be cultivated and then used within your practice, and then by connecting that to your concept of building a new wheel of the year in keeping with your biosphere, those two will actually integrate really nicely. And then bringing in a personal body practice, something that will help you to metaphysically maintain the self, will be quite nice, I do believe. Yes, I do. All right, let me turn that around. Let me turn that around. Let me just mix my cards in. Whoops. I haven't quite turned my deck upside down yet. I'm not sure if this is an upside down deck. It is. It's a reversible deck, but all right. Megan, it is the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. All right. Okay, so we have Alt 10 1, Alt 101 TV. I was wondering if I could get a love reading for the upcoming year. Romantic love. I can pull some romantic cards. This will be interesting. I've been dying to put this one to good use for another love reading. I liked the way the deck behaved. Oh, okay. So we have the King of Pentacles. So we have a stronger, more, what would we call him? We would call him a mature archetype. Not necessarily a man, could be a woman as well, but just someone who had a really good grasp of their resources, someone that was kind of king, queen of their domain, and quite successful, quite established, I would say. Then we have the 10 of Cups right here, which is that happily ever after card. So I do think that the combination of these two is the meeting of the individual and then the happily ever after card. This is a really great match, but it can also be reflective of a desire to create that, that incredible experience and that bond, etc. And then we have the Two of Swords here, which can be the very difficult decision. And the very difficult decision can sometimes alter the way that the situation falls. I'm going to pull one more card. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, I love this. Upcoming year, I do feel like you're going to meet someone. I think it's going to be awesome. I do feel like you're going to have a difficult decision to make, though. I think that this could actively be the obstacle to meeting that person, is to make that choice. And the thing that I love, and both love and struggle with the Two of Swords, is that when we're making these decisions, every decision that we make leads us down to a different path, can I speak? And so it's going to rest on a decision that you make. And the Two of Swords is really great at shutting off the visual perspective and really sinking into the feeling of of, of the question itself. And so typically this refers to a situation that duplicates in weight, if you know what I mean. So down this road, you've got this thing that weighs this much. Down that road, you've got this thing that weighs equally as much as this one over here. So we've got either way, you could go either way. And like they're so balanced, like that weight is so balanced. The opportunities are so balanced. And that's what makes the choice so difficult. And so it's in that moment that you really need to sit with yourself and listen very, very carefully to what your senses are telling you. I was going to say heart then, but the sword seldom listens to the heart. It's all about the strategy that the mind allows to unfurl, if you will. And checking in with the body, checking in with the mind, checking in with the heart, checking in with the body. And when that opportunity comes where you're looking down the barrel of a choice that has two really interesting options, that you really, really check in with yourself, because one of those is actually going to be the door that unlocks this really nice relationship here. And it's a really, really fulfilling relationship. And the Seven of Pentacles is talking about the harvest. So it's a relationship with future potential. So it's talking about a relationship with potential. But then the choice is there. So be aware of those choices. But I think for this year, you're going to have a really, really good experience within your romantic life. Just make sure that those choices, like you really follow through with the repercussion of those choices, the decision that you make, okay? They're really important. And you might feel that throughout the start of the year as well. So, who have we got next? Corey! Hi, Corey. How are you? I would love to hear any messages in regards to my spiritual gifts and bringing in more blessings into my world. Absolutely, Corey. Absolutely. By the way, folks, I've been asked to, a company has reached out and asked to sponsor one of my videos. Now, I've never had a sponsored opportunity and I'm not sure about it. And I've had a few, actually, that's a lie. I've had people try to sponsor my videos before, but they just weren't in alignment. Whereas this company, as odd as they may be, may actually be in alignment. I don't even know how to quite articulate it, but they're offering to sponsor a video. And I was like, I don't know about this. Okay. Here we go, Corey. In regarding to my spiritual gifts, bringing in more blessings into my world. Oh, I like this. Okay. First of all, Corey, I got the Six of Cups, and I really feel quite the strong ancestral connection within the Six of Cups. Like if you look very closely at this card, you see the evolution, you see the little puppy and the boy, and then you see them grown up, and then the little bowls are the evolution of the story. Like there's a growing to it. I also like the idea of the six as being a card that gives emotion, that gives wisdom, and from the young to the old and the old to the young. It's such a beautiful card, and I really feel like it does connect itself with that ancestral connection. And so in regards to your spiritual gifts, I would be very, very keen on exploring your ancestral legacy, and seeing exactly what kind of magic your blood ties hold within the context of your practice, and nurturing that as much as possible because it already exists, it's singing within you. We have the Five of Cups here as well, and the Five of Cups can sometimes be a bit of a sadness. Now, I've got to grab the book. Hold on. Okay, because I feel like it would be helpful. So when we're exploring our ancestral connections and our ancestral gifts, and I'm very much ancestrally minded, I do practice a lot of ancestral magic. It's part of what I do. And so I talk about this with a certain sense of ease, understanding at the same time that ancestral practices are not necessarily for everyone. I understand that. But I do find that there is a certain need with the Five of Cups to repair something from an ancestral perspective. And I was recently reading this beautiful book here, Honoring the Ancestors, or Ancestral, Honoring Your Ancestors, A Guide to Ancestral Veneration. Veneration is a very strong word. And where are you? There is a Facing Ancestral Trauma section in here. And there is acknowledging sort of some of the wounds of our legacy that was left for us within our legacy, our familial legacy. These are heavier themes, of course, but they're definitely something that would require a good deal of exploration in order to truly liberate some of those gifts that we so want. I know that the more ancestral digging that I do, and the more looking into that aspect of myself, the more I unleash within me as far as my practice goes. Now, you also had the star, and the star is that guidance and that inspiration. And I feel like if you were to bravely go down the path of that ancestral connection and be prepared to heal some of the wounds, or to at least recognize some of the shadow that exists there, there would be a guide for you. I really feel like the star card is a beautiful guide. And in order to really bring your spiritual gifts into alignment, we need to go where those gifts originate. And I really feel that I keep saying I really feel that for you, your gifts originate in a long line of familial connections, of blood ties, of family bonds, and that's worth looking closely at. Now, of course, not everyone is prepared to go really deep into ancestral connections, but even just a nod to your ancestry. If you were to light a white candle, place a nice cup of water next to that candle, and light that flame to the souls of your ancestors, may they rest in peace. Say something super simple like that. You're already halfway there with ancestral connections. And the more respect that you can give to your past, the more your past will show you the brilliance that exists within you. And I do feel that a lot of our gifts are inherent in our blood. And I know this from just looking at my own family, the kinds of things that my sisters are good at, the kind of thing that I'm good at, the kind of thing that my mother was good at, the kind of thing that my grandmother and great grandma was good at. Like they all connect themselves in a way. And so I know that there's a reason why I'm so good at certain things. And that is because that something has been in my line for a long time. And it doesn't mean that I will be amazing at it, but it does mean that I'll have a little bit of an aptitude for it. Do you know what I mean? So, Corey, I hope that helps you a little bit. And as far as more blessings in your world, I would say that blessing is dual sided. So to be that inspiration to somebody else, the star is a card of guidance and a card of brilliance, and a card that asks us to truly trust that we are being led down a beautiful, purposeful path. And I do feel like you may have the opportunity to be that guiding light to someone else, and as such to be a blessing and to receive a blessing as a result of that. So I think it's something that will sort of sneak up on you by surprise, and you will find yourself doing or saying something that will add so much light to someone's life. And so if that opportunity should come up, please do bounce upon that, like leap upon that, in fact, and and just embrace it, because I don't know, every good deed. I'm an every good deed type of person. I'll do sporadic good deeds to people. My mother always told me to be really good to others, so I listened. All right, Hilda. Business cash flow have been very tight. Outlook and advice. I'm so there, all right. I'm so there for you, Hilda. I'm so there. Oh, Corey, that's awesome. That is awesome. All righty. I might have to go and have some lunch soon, folks. It's 1:11 in the afternoon, and I need to edit and do some lunch. Do some lunch stuffs. All right, so Hilda. Okay. Ooh, okay. Hilda. We have the moon, the ace of swords, and the king of wands, okay? So the moon has me a little bit intrigued, and that is because the moon can sometimes signify our collective unconscious. It can sometimes signal, not always, but sometimes signal to the shadow aspect. And when it comes to cash, when it comes to business, when it comes to money and those things combined, there are times that we uncover within ourselves a little shadow that we didn't know was there, something that helps to block us from our potential. I say this from personal experience. I had my own blocks. Yes, I did. And I found them, and I'm still addressing them to this day. But the point is, I found them. And now that I'm aware of them, I can conduct myself in very different ways to the ways that I used to back in the day. But I will say this, when the moon comes a calling, shadows will come to the surface and bizarre behavior can unfurl. And that is something that I really respect about the moon. Now, the moon is linked to the astrological sign of Scorpio. And if you've ever met a Scorpio, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're interesting characters. I'm married to one, so I can say that. And I also have Scorpio as an ascendant. And so I understand that there is a certain level of need to address the shadow aspect of business and money for you. And the Ace of Swords is talking about that clarity. So the aces of every card within the tarot, all four aces, they occupy the space of the quintessence. So the seed of inspiration, the seed of a thought. And the seed of a thought brings you to the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands is a master. He is a master. And so this is really talking about getting a little bit of mentorship from someone who is a badass master of his trade. And this can be something that you do, firsthand, like sign up to a course, go to a meeting, go and talk to someone. Or it can be something of a matter of follow the white rabbit and find that inspirational source, someone who can help to inspire you beyond your limitations. I do feel like the moon is talking about limitations. I do think the Ace of Swords is talking about the necessity to expand upon your ideas, especially in regards to business and finance. And as such, I do find that the King of Wands is the archetypal energy that will help you to shift some of that. So, in short, it requires an outside force. I really do feel that this is an outside force, someone with a potential aptitude for this, a hand that can be maneuvered, if you know what I mean, outside force, as in not you, and as such, someone who is really, really good at what they do. So let me just give you a rundown. King of Wands, ostentatious, like really charismatic, really charming, really well presented, dynamic kind of energy, quite, high vibe, like dynamite, some might say. Someone who is a little bit sultry at the same time, someone who's got a little bit of a sexy edge, and someone who is very sure of who they are and what they are good at. There is a certain level of confidence to be found within the King of Wands, and they are the type of person that is always naturally the leader. They will gravitate. The attention of others will gravitate to them, and they are just accidentally at times the shining star in the room. And so I find that the King of Wands, being very solid, very sure of himself, very capable, bold, brash, some might say, has that tenacity for business. Within the realm of the wands, we're also talking about ambition. We're talking about competitive drive, the edge. And you need someone who's really good with that competitive drive, with the edge. When we're talking about advertising, this is the person that you need to talk to about advertising. So you need to connect with the archetype of the King of Wands and find someone who's really good at that side of things to help for you to navigate beyond these more, sort of early on business pitfalls. So it really does mean acknowledging your weaknesses, the shadow aspect, wherever it is that money and business collide, and that burst of inspiration, put it to good use in finding that type of individual that's going to be able to help you. So I would say, I don't want to use the word business coach because I don't think I would ever say the word business coach to anyone, but I do feel it's connecting with someone who has an insight, like a deeper insight into that, someone that can give you that competitive edge, someone that can make you shine. So in that case, you might need a business coach. So think about it. Think about a business coach and think about what it can do. But it's not about any business coach. It's about the right coach. So look for that King of Wands archetype, someone who really knows their shit and who is very good at it as well. Not just someone who's talking about being good at it, someone who's actively good at it. Elaine, any messages from Spirit? Any messages from Spirit? I'm getting there, folks. Okay. Oh, two cards. All I needed was the two cards to say it all. Okay, so your messages from Spirit. I was talking about this the other day. When was I talking about this? Holy moly. I was talking about how, oh my gosh, this was through another reading last week, how our guides can talk to us in really, really subtle ways. And at times when we're trying to connect with our guides and we're waiting for that answer, we're waiting for that connection, it happens and we don't notice because we're waiting for something that is so much bigger than what just happened. And so our guides communicate to us through details. There are times where they will give you the big bolt of lightning experience, and that's usually because it needs to be that obvious. But for the most part, our guides talk to us throughout really plain language, symbolism, synchronicities, just unusual little details that unfurl throughout our day-to-day, and we can feel that there's an element of divinity within that. And so The World card says that there is tremendous opportunity around you at the moment. The World card is that completion aspect. It is that seed of completion, if you will, and it is one that, when embraced, it can just open up so many beautiful possibilities and opportunities. The World card is such a fulfillment card for me personally, at the very least, as a reader. When I see it, I just feel like everything's going to be all right. Everything is going to be fulfilled. Everything is going to be whole. So it brings a sense of wholeness. There is the Four of Cups here, which is talking about a little bit of, I use the word stagnation very carefully here. Sometimes it can be a bit of boredom. And I do think that the messages from your guides are that focusing on the little things is going to be how you better connect with the flow of your messages as a whole. And so we don't just get one message every so often. We get multitudes of messages every day, like hundreds of times a day, if you're prepared to pay attention. And the more you pay attention, the more connected, the more tethered you feel to that, to that conversation, to that stream of energy. And grounding and centering then becomes extraordinarily important. I just wanted to say that because there are people that really connect with the voice of spirit, and then they're like off with the fairies, and you can see it in their crazy eyes and their natural demeanor. But grounding and centering really important. But I think for you, it's really about opening up your perspective and getting over that phase of, it's not even a discontent phase that I feel. I'm going to pull another card here. Oh, we got the Ace of Wands. It's about injecting a little fire into your watery practice, some might say. So water, conduit to the divine, can lead us into the spirit world. Fire, the great manifesting tool, the magical element, the tool of the magician. Fire is the tool of the magician, and as such, injecting a little bit of magic into your practice and into your process of connecting with your guides is going to bring about that sense of fulfillment. There has to be another element there. And I really feel like this might actually be presenting itself as fire in your practice. I love to organize. I'm pointing at my altar over there. I have so many candles on my altar, specifically for spirit work. And whenever I light each and every one of them, and I say the words and I sing the songs of the old gods, I can connect really easily with my spirit guides. But I think for you, messages from your guides, I really do think that focus on the subtleties of the experiences, the little things, and start to find that bliss, that pleasure, that high energy, and involve fire, involve that creative fire, that potential for manifestation into your practice, and help to open up your practice as a whole and to meet with that wholesome energy of the world. So I feel like your guides' messages are talking about natural evolution and about refinement of your practice, but also opening yourself up to a larger scope of spirit. And for that reason, I congratulate you. And so, what do we have? Elaine. No, I just did Elaine. Hang on. I need to look down the bottom of my glasses. Samantha. Hello, Biffy. How you going? Gosh, folks, you honor me. You really do honor me. Thank you so much for everyone who has donated to my to my renovation. Oh my God, it's a nightmare over there, folks. I really will take you over. I'll do a little vlog over there and show you what it is that I am talking about. And then you'll understand why it is I'm going through these measures, because usually I'm very patient. I just wait and I trust. And this time around, I'm like, oh no, I might need to be a little bit more proactive about how this unfolds. occurred to me that I've lost 2 books. Isn't that peculiar? All right. I'm starting on my witchcraft journey and, and have experienced things I can't explain. Am I really being contacted by deity? Oh, yes, I would say yes. Ooh. You got the 2 of Swords here. So there's that blindfold. There's that unsuredness. Is that the word that I'm looking for? That's the choice that we must make. And for you, your choice is pretty simple in that way. It's that belief. Am I really being contacted by deity? Here we have the King of Cups and the King of Wands. So I am quite certain that yes, you are being contacted by deity, and not just 1 but 2. Now, of course, when we're looking at the court within the tarot, just because it says king, it doesn't make it a boy. Okay, so it could be, what I would say is, however, they are very, very intense. I would say that they're intense. So if they're being personified as kings, they are very, I would say that they're a little bit older. I would say that they are a little bit more intense. One is of water, one is of fire. That much I'm quite certain. So it could be masculine and feminine, could be too feminine, could be too masculine. Definite deity there, definite deity action, and a little question, a little burning question, a little something that the choice, you have a choice. Which way are you going to go? Are you going to go King of Cups? Are you going to go King of Wands? The King of Wands will take you for a ride. The King of Cups, our Renaissance man, will give you some really unique experiences. One is of fire and one is of water. Now, 2 very magical elements here. Water, the conduit to the divine. Fire, the manifestor, the magician's element, must be called into being. Doesn't just exist like water, earth, and air does. Must be called into being, right? And so we have this opportunity to work with potentially 2 deities. So Samantha, I would say that you are having genuine experiences. And I would say that yes, it's very likely that you are being contacted by deity. I would also say that this is exciting, and I would also say that this is a beautiful experience that is being given to you, and that it will require a choice on your part. When we acknowledge that we have deity trying to contact us, we do all have a choice. We can either accept that or we can close the door on that. I know where I stand on that matter, but others have a choice to make, and I don't influence others. But should you want to open up that door and cultivate a working relationship with a deity, or any spirit for that matter, it begins with an invitation, and we invite spirit into our life by creating space for that spirit. And in the context of our practice as witches, that tends to be a space on our altar, or a space in a different area of the room, one that is solely dedicated to that particular spirit and or deity. And we start to put upon that surface elements that we believe symbolize their energy and their force, if you will. And so when you're ready and you decide whether or not you'd like to do something about your deity connections, then at least you have a little starting off point. Okay. And then we have Biffy. Will moving to Queensland be a positive move? And if so, when will these blockages stop? All right, Biffy. Will moving to Queensland. I can imagine that Queensland would be really, really attractive for anyone who hasn't lived there. And Queensland's very beautiful. Okay. Okay. Biffy. I would say yes. I would also say there's romance. I think there is a romance message for you, Biffy. I think you got a romance message. But I do think that it's all cups. Knight of Cups, very romantic. Queen of Cups, very intuitive. Two of Cups, soulful connection. So I do believe that moving to Queensland will give you that soulful connection and actually put you in the position to meet someone. If you don't already have a special someone. Otherwise, it represents, if you do have a special someone, it represents the fact that Queensland might be where your soul sings and where there is that beautiful connection. And now, as far as when will these blockages stop? I think these blockages will stop when you start to truly connect with the more emotional aspect of the move and start to disconnect from your current place. And so this is about tying, like energetically speaking, it's about tying off loose ends and putting all the dots on the I's and crossing the T's and making sure to close your chapters up tightly so that you don't leave any loose ends, and you can start to state to the powers that be that you're ready to go, like you're ready to get going, you're ready to move, you're ready for that change. Ideally, because we have the Knight of Cups here, and we have a little bit of a horse here, and we have just like this really romantic dude. Like, look at that romantic dude. I would very much consider doing a road opener. If you're feeling like you've got blockages, then I would definitely recommend doing a road opener. Once you've put all your affairs in order, open up those roads and create that opportunity for movement. And you will find that things will go a lot smoother when you do. So, but I do feel like there's romance, like romance, beautiful romance, Biffy. Oh my gosh. What is the no for, Biffy? What is the no? No, you don't have a partner? Yes. No, you don't want romance? No. What's the no? What's the no? Oh, Samantha, that is so totally fine. Honestly, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. Well, there's definitely an element of, well, it could be like a certain romantic partner. Aww. Biffy, I think that moving to Queensland is going to prove to be really, really nourishing for you. There was such a nice little soulful connection with that Two of Cups, and there was a certain level of fulfillment to be found within the cards themselves. And so whether or not it was romance, it's still talking about relationships, because Cups really does sort of, fit beautifully into the concept of relationships. And it talks about a tender relationship, an intuitive relationship, a relationship that can progress, that has an element of like a maturity to it. The Knight of Cups is talking about movement, and I love the fluid movement of the Knight, but I also love the way that the Knight has a natural propensity to say the right thing, to say the beautiful thing, if you will. Oh, Hilda, of course. But I do think that with that much water, movement and travel, like water is a very fluid element. And I do think that coast of Queensland might call you. I do feel like there was an awful amount of water in that reading, Biffy. Oh, that's beautiful. Messages from spirit guides. Okay, Hilda. Am I holding the deck? I'm holding the deck upside down. we see the Knight of Cups again. We've got the Knight of Cups again. Oh, I feel like you have I just got that feeling. I just got that feeling. Hilda, I think your spirit guide is a poet. I think he's a poet. I think it's a he, and I think he's a poet. You got the King of Pentacles here. Definite wise grandfatherly energy coming through. So in that context, I'm not talking about gender there. I'm talking about the way in which that guide will guide. So in a very mature way, in a very mature manner, and one that is quite solid and grounded and centered and wise. And then so you've got this kind of old soul, if you will, this old wise soul. But then you've got the Knight of Cups there, which just immediately made me think of a poet. It actually made me think of John Keats. But you also got the Six of Cups there, the Three of Cups there. So, messages from your guides. Three of Cups. Just like really, really connect with a little bit of romance. Really, okay, this is going to sound weird, but I always honor spirit, okay? I really think that you should have your girlfriends over and read poetry. Do a little poetry ritual. Like just sit there and read the most beautiful poems you can find on the internet. Drink beautiful amounts of wine and eat chocolate. Well, if you're into wine, otherwise just tea will be fine. And eat some chocolates and just laugh and connect. And I think that sort of injection of energy is going to bring about that wisdom. I do think that you're going to have, once you've sort of opened up the door to that, I really do think that you're going to have a really positive experience with the King of Pentacles archetype as like a wise elder coming through to you and helping you out. I do think it could be actually like a fatherly figure, like ancestrally speaking, much far removed. So keep an eye on a new guide or a old guide making himself known to you. Why am I doing this? I'm like a wiggle. I'm like a wiggle right now. But I really do like the idea of getting together with the ladies and doing the poetry thing. Really feeling that though. I'd be inclined, if you do that, have your journal close by and get ready to scribble down some really interesting messages. I think you're going to love it. I think you are going to love it hard. Who has been messing with my car alarm in spirit? I've been feeling there's a spirit that's responsible for my car alarm being faulty recently. Oh. You're welcome, Biffy. Oh, you're welcome, Hilda. All right, I'm interested about this car alarm. I'm super duper interested in this car alarm now. There's a star. Someone's trying to get your attention. The star card's there. Have I flipped this again? Jacobs. Yes, I did flip it. Oh my gosh, you got the Justice card. You've got the Justice card. Interesting. What does this mean? Okay. Justice. I just wanted you to look at Justice for a little moment here because the Star card is certain guidance. So we do get spirit guide, kind of vibey spirit energy there, okay? But I want to talk about the nature of that. And the Justice card appears. So this is a particular entity, a spirit, that is very, very keen on righting wrongs. That's perhaps the best way to put it, of righting wrongs. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so I do feel like this is a much more feminine energy, a much more feminine guide, not a tricksy guide, not a petty one, just someone who is really keen on getting your attention and righting a wrong. Righting a wrong. And the alarm, it's kind of like, think about what the alarm does. It kind of brings attention. It brings something to your attention. It's connected to your safety. It's connected to oh, this is a riddle. This is a riddle, Corey. I'm just going to pull some cards from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, or a card. Maybe I should pull. No, I'll pull from this one here. It's an awakening. I love it. So it's something new, something beginning, something, the instigation of something. So you're perhaps connecting with not so much a guide, but more a deity. And I really do feel like it's guidance. It's not to piss you off. It's guidance. It's connected to the right, the good, the right, the just. And the Queen of Pentacles, mature, earthly, motherly even. Just luxurious. I love the Queen of Pentacles for her love of all things fine and luxurious. And then we have an awakening. So this is a totally different kettle of fish. This is something else trying to get your attention. I do feel it's deity related. I really do. Now, what would I do about it? If they're still continuously messing with your alarm, they're trying to get your attention, I would leave an offering. Corey, I would leave an offering for this female energy that is trying to attract your attention. And because it is an earthly vibe, we're looking at the Queen of Pentacles. I'm talking like chocolate coins and nice champagne or a nice hot chocolate of some description. So something luxurious, beautiful flowers, some nice perfume, something. Create an environment to say that you've heard her. Solace or solace? Hi Avalon, lately I've been feeling stuck in place both in practical life and spirituality. Do you have any messages or advice for how I can move forward? I'm certainly going to try. Okay, I'm certainly going to try. Here we go. Oh, we've got the star again. Stars coming out. Okay, very stuck. Well, you're feeling stuck because you've got stuck. That's not a word. Feeling stuck because you've got the Hangman. And Hangman is about it's about suspension and animation. And also it's about sacrifice. And I do feel like, as though you are stuck right now, you may need to think up a really great little sacrifice, something to sacrifice of yourself in order to sort of like open up that road for you. You're feeling blocked. You're feeling blocked. You're feeling, what were the exact words that you used? Stuck. You're feeling stuck. And that's such strong Hangman energy. Hangman will just pick you up and just suspend you until you are prepared to acknowledge something, profound. So it's connected to the myth of Odin, who hung injured, wounded, if you will, 9 days, 9 nights, world tree, and the wisdom of the runes came to him, but he had to sacrifice his eye, right? So every every 6 months in my coven on Patreon, we do a 9-day sacrifice to Odin. So I'm going to recommend that you do a 9-day sacrifice to Odin. If you're interested in it, it sounds intense, but I would recommend a 9-day sacrifice to Odin. Choose something in your life to sacrifice, and I'll give you an example of what this could be. Some will sacrifice sugar. Some will sacrifice screen time. Some will sacrifice lethargy. Some will, the sacrifice is what it needs to be for you. And 9 days, 9 nights. There is a path working. You can journey to meet Odin. You can write me an email and I'll message me. So just message me on email. Send me an email and just put in the title bar 9-day sacrifice to Odin so that I know to respond to you and I can explain to you how to go about that and give you some resources to help you to do that. But I do feel like that would be beneficial. You've also got the Two of Pentacles, which is about balancing contracts a little bit. There's the juggle, there's the multitasking element to it. And then you have the Star, which is that beautiful guidance. But I think that you need to get yourself unstuck first before you can start just to think about balancing those exciting elements and really trying to find your stride, really trying to find your flow within that balance, and through that beautiful guidance. Oh, great. So send me an email to avalonsapothecary@gmail.com. Hang on, I'll type it out so that you can see it. Okay, and make sure that you put the 9-day sacrifice to Odin in all caps in the header of the email, because I get hundreds and hundreds of emails every day and I'm just drowning in them. So I really did want to talk about the Two of Pentacles here. So that's, balancing your resources, definitely, but also making sure that you're getting as much rest as you are getting play so that you can really inject your life with much more vivaciousness. And the Star card is that guidance, is that guidance. And it's very mysterious guidance, I like to think. But the Hanged Man and the Star card go hand in hand because they are both major arcana cards and they hold a little bit more weight within a reading as a result. And so Hanged Man, Star card together, there has to be a little bit of energy shifted first and foremost. And I would say doing that 9-day sacrifice to Odin may be very well what helps you to shift your situation a little bit. And Hannah, how's the rest of the school year going to be for me? Oh, Hannah, let's have a look. The rest of the school year. Oh, you would be my first academia. No, I've done an academia one. I'm just trying to think of all the different types of readings I've done with the Light Seers Tarot. I hadn't done spirit messages, and I seem to have done a lot of those today. I should tell Chris Ann. Chris Ann, your deck reads beautifully for spirit questions. Oh. Page of Swords, very good. And the Page of Wands, very good. So the students, so it's balancing work and play. I think that this is going to go really well for you. The rest of the school year is going to go really well because you do have the Page of Swords, which is naturally a scholarly type of energy. And I really do feel that the Page of Wands, being that it's a more expressive, ostentatious, vivacious kind of energy, it's talking about balancing work and play. And so by finding a really good work and play balance, you are going to be able to ensure that the rest of your school year is going to go amazing. So really is that balance, work and play balance. And just be very, very connected to both tasks. Okay, so if you're going to do the work, you do the work and you do it. You do it hard, you do it good. You pay attention to detail and you've focused on what you're doing. And then you go out and you cut loose and you play so that you don't have any pent up nervous vibes. So try to balance that work and play ethic as much as possible, and your year should go beautifully. And Fifi. All right, any messages from spirit, ancestor, or guides, please? Absolutely. I'll pull some cards. You're welcome, Hannah. You're welcome. Oh my gosh, Biffy. Okay, so you've got the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands. So I do feel like the Queen of Cups has appeared for you twice today, and this is a deeply intuitive card, really, really intuitive. So this is definitely something about the development of your intuitive faculties. The Queen of Swords is the great teacher, so the finding of a really good teacher in order to do that. And the Ten of Cups is really happy families. I just love this as a happy families card, all things coming together, just beautiful harmony. It's a beautiful harmony card. So my message from Spirit is that harmony is at the very center of what drives you. And I think that from that previous reading that we did, you're really looking to harmonize your family unit, and that the Queen of Cups is really on your side for that. So I think that because it's appeared for you twice, it would probably be the archetypal energy that I would encourage you to step most into. And by doing so, really connecting with those intuitive faculties, and by making sure that you are reading the situation really well. The Queen of Swords is that teacher. It's that dedication to something that is a bit more structured, that is a bit more intense, and something that feeds the mind. And so I really do love the Queen of Swords as the archetypal energy for teacher, and I think that she has a voracious mind that is keen on learning, really sharp. So it's the refinement of aspects of the mind so that you stay really, really sharp and learn and feed that beautiful brain of yours with as much good information that can help you to grow and to evolve. And yeah, I really do think that that's exactly where you need to be right now. But harmony for family definitely is at the core of what drives you. And again, you've got two cup cards and one sword card. And this sword card, it's a good one. It's a good one. So there you go, beautiful souls. All right, beautiful people, it is now 2 o'clock and I must away because I'm hungry. I'm starving, in fact. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for donating to my renovation cause. It's a big job. Oh, Angela, I'll quickly do yours. After Angela, I cannot do any others. And just popped up. You just popped up there, Angela, and that's totally cool. But I'm a bit hungry right now, folks. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All I've had is a muesli bar today. I'm going to have a little bit more medicine for my back because it's a bit sore. I might edit some videos tomorrow because I don't feel like doing it today. Oh, in a bad place at present. Any messages coming through? Two of Swords, definitely. Definitely, I can see that there's a difficult situation. Queen of Cups, the nurturing, intuitive mother. The Page of Wands, an injection of action. And the Seven of Wands. Okay, I've pulled 4 cards for you, Angela. So the of Swords is talking about the difficult choice, a choice that must be made or that has already been made. And right now, I feel like that was at the very start of the story, the Two of Cups. We've got the Queen of Cups, which is talking about bracing, leaning in to your intuitive faculties, to the feeling element, to that aspect of your emotional self, your emotional body, and making sure that it is nourished, it is nurtured, and to ensure also that you are in that state of balance. And I want to use the word bliss here, but considering that you are in a bad place at the moment, it's not exactly what I meant, but I want you to be in a very good place. The Page of Wands is action. It's an action card. Yes, it's an archetypal energy card simply because it is a court talking about young, enthusiastic action must be taken. So these are forward steps. This is movement and momentum that needs to be injected into your life. And the Seven of Wands is vigilant. Okay. So we've got two Wands card. I do want to pull another card here. Just the Hermit card. Okay. Okay, this is going to be your medicine card, Angela. The Hermit card is a call to a quieter place in the mind. At times when we experience the full force of the medicine of the Hermit, it takes us into places that are much more quiet, that are much more still. The Hermit is kindred to the astrological sign of Virgo. Big shout out to all the Virgos out there. And it's all about taking in the minute details of the situation, but also being able to be objective by stepping back farther enough to ensure that the scope of the perspective that you're able to drink in is incredibly, what is the word that I'm looking for? Sorry, I got distracted by, hang on a minute, let me just, okay, that's fine. Won't let me do what I need to do. Sorry, I just had to report someone. Um, my apologies for that. So we were talking about the medicine of the Hermit, and so this is getting distance from the situation right now. If you're in a bad place, try and step back and gain some distance, some perspective. Allow your mind to actually decompress, to rest, and to understand that what it needs now is just some time for R&R, to have a little bit of perspective. The Hermit is about solitude and slowing down. It sort of slows down the pace and refines the situation a little more, making everything a lot easier to handle. And I think that that's part of the medicine that comes with it. And there's this necessity to be vigilant as well. The Seven of Wands is like this constant drive to be vigilant, and the Page of Wands is pushing for action here. The Queen of Cups, though, is asking for things to slow down so that there can be more feeling involved in the situation. So it feels like a push and pull. But I find that the two medicine cards here would be the Queen of Cups and the Hermit card. The choice must be made onto whether or not you're going to take action, or you are going to go down a more passive path. And so the choice will be yours to make. But I do feel like the Hermit holds a lot of medicine for you in its meaning, that gaining of perspective, that disconnection from the mass of the problem, from the crux of the matter, and seeking out a bit of solitude so that you can put your mind in order and fix the ideas that you have. At times we can be reeling from situations, and we need that time to allow ourselves to properly decompress. And when we allow ourselves that time to have that proper decompression, things naturally start to fall into place, and therein lies the situation. Um, keep you your lunch. I will be careful. Yes, definitely meditate on the Hermit card. All right, folks. Well, I have to go now. I'm starving, hungry. Thank you so much to everyone who supported me. I'll be back in a couple of days and do another sort of card slinging donation session if you are interested. And if you could please let people know, that would be also very helpful to me, because right now we are going through situations and we need all the support we can get. And in the past I would have felt really kind of yucky asking for support, but lately I've learned, and this is thanks to my guides, this is thanks to all my beautiful subscribers, that what I've offered in the past for no money at all has been really helpful, and that I've been a guiding force in so many people's lives. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support and the kind words that you have given me. And right now I'm in that position where I sort of need a little bit of support, and I need a little bit of something extra as well, because of what we're going through as a family right now. It's nothing dire. It's nothing like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be homeless. That's the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to talk up the intensity of the situation, but we would like to be in by the 20th of December. And in order for us to do that, we need to get a really good injection of cash so that we can complete the absolute essentials. Right now, we're patching the holes in the ceiling. We're going to fix up the bathroom and the kitchen, not completely renovate them, but fix them up so that they can be livable. And we are going to sand back the floors and paint everything. And then we're going to try and move in. So do wish us luck in our endeavors. And if anyone wants to donate past this point, then my email is avalonsapothecary@gmail.com. I have printed it, I've typed it out in this chat, and yeah, just any help and any support that you can give me for any of the, the energy that I've given to you in the past would be just so nicely appreciated. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And even for those who cannot donate monetarily at this moment in time, just your words of support and your kindness and your contribution with your energy to my channel has always been really well received. And I just want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for those of you who have stuck with me and who are keen to support me on my future endeavors. Once I can move in, life is just going to feel so different in more space. We've just been locked into 2 tiny little rooms of late, and I don't even know. Oh, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I'll be chatting with you again soon. So much love and many blessings. Take care of yourselves, and I hope that your day is absolutely sparkly, and I may see you again in the middle of the week. So thank you so much. Mwah. Bye.